So let's take a look at the next step in making this work, and that is converting this down to number of leads. So let's start with our calls per month from the prior slide, 2,560. And we're going to assume here 7.4 phone calls per lead average. I'll explain how we got to that in a moment. That's the result of another calculation we're going to show you, but we take that 2,560 throughput, we divide it by the number of calls per lead to get to 347. That's the number we started with, if you recall, at the top as our capacity and expressed in leads. Okay, so now we've figured out what does the supply side. Now let's take a look at how we got to that 7.4. So we've got different types of leads, right? In this case, we've got 150 cross-sell candidates. We've got 20 win-backs, and let's consider we've got 30 X dates on our hands. And maybe last week we bought some leads that are still hanging around, web leads of 15. We've got 215 total to work with. Now, we need to figure out what is the call count based upon the cadences on average. These are average numbers, 7, 8, 8, and 9. To get to the 7.4. Those are averages. Some leads you can connect to in 1 or 2 calls. Others, it might be 15 calls. Doesn't matter. This is the average. That's what we have to plan for. Okay, so when we do that math, we come up with the total call breakdown, and we'll add those numbers up to get to 1,585. So in other words, this is what we have on hand to work, right? These are good quality leads in terms of likelihood to connect and to convert. So we're going to make sure we take care of that inventory before we add on to it with the new purchases. So there's the 1585. Now we're getting to the calculation of how many we need to buy. Again, back to where we started with the lead processing capacity, inventory, and required leads. We put in our numbers. We see that we had the 347 from the capacity. We've got the inventory count of 215, and then we difference the 132 and multiply that out, divide it out. And now we know we've got 3.3 leads per producer per day. All right, so that what we've done there is just figure out, based upon assumptions that you can vary a little bit depending upon your actual agency experience, that fits the machine that you've got. Right? We don't want too many. We don't want too few. We want to stay in balance so that every lead gets the attention it deserves in terms of intensity, persistence, and speed, of course. And we get the maximum return on that investment.